All right, so this is your 5.4.2 checkup practice problems. I thought maybe it might be a good idea to go through this together to see what you have learned after you've gone through the whole lesson. So it says for questions 1 and 2, identify the point that is a solution to the system of inequalities. So for question number 1, it says which point is the solution to the system of inequalities? So what I always do first is just plot my points. So remember, this is our x and this is our y value. So we're going to go over 2 and go up 0. So that will be your 2, 0. Then we're going to go 0, 2. So that's, I don't know if there's a point right here, if that's 3, but I'm guessing it's right here. Then we have negative 2, down 2, down negative 2. That would go here. And then 0, negative 2 here. So that would be the points. So obviously the one that's in the shaded is our B. It's 0, 2. If we look at question 2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plot our points. Remember, this is our x, this is our y. So we have on the x-axis 2, the y would be 0, so that would be here. Then we have 0, positive 4. That would be here. And then we have negative 2, 1, 2, and negative 2, which is right about here. And then we have 0, negative 4, which would be here. So the solution would be our negative 2, negative 2, because that one is in the very teeny tiny shaded area of the gray. All right, for questions 3 through 5, it asks you to identify the region containing the solution to the system. If there is no solution, you're going to write no solution. So we're going to look at our 2 lines here. We have y is less than or equal to negative x minus 4. And then we have y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 6. So what I think is that these are counted by 2's. So I always like to label my lines, which is which. So if I count up 2, 4, 6, this is the blue line and this is the red line. So for the red line, it's y is less than or equal to negative x minus 4, and y is greater than 2x plus 6. So greater than or equal to. So what you have to figure out then is what the directions say, again, is to identify the region containing the solution to the system. If there's no solution, write no solution. All right, so if we look at our red line is y is less than negative x minus 4. So we have this red line and it's anything less than. So anything less than is going to be over in this area. This is our less than area. All right, and we know that it's less than because if we look at our number line, like going this way is negative 10, going down is negative 10, so it's less than. And then the other one is our blue, so it's y is greater than 2x plus 6. So anything greater than is going to be in this area right here. Shade, 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 shade. So then our solution set will be D, because that is where our orange and our green overlap. If you're not sure yet, like how to calculate or how to draw your lines, or not really sure like where the shaded is, remember, go to Desmos, use Desmos, let it help you, plug in these equations and see where that shaded area is, if you can like identify it on your screen with the picture that they give here. Desmos is always a great, great, great tool to use. All right, let's look at the next one. So we have y is greater than 2x minus 5, and y is greater than negative 3x. Okie dokie. So we need to look and identify, so the negative 3x, so y is greater than negative 3x, and then y is greater than 2x minus 5. The y is greater than 2x minus 5 will be the red line, and then the blue line. Alrighty, so let's look at our red line first. So our red line is y is greater than 2x minus 5. So we have our red line, and so then we're going to just shade in. We're going to shade in where it would be greater, and I want you to think about that first before I shade it in. I want you to see if you can either one, go use Desmos and type that equation in and just use Desmos, or maybe just take an educated guess on where you think that might be, which direction we might go if y is greater than 2x minus 5. So hopefully you've thought about it and you have shaded in this whole area, and if you use Desmos, it will show you that this whole area is the shaded part, okay? And then we're going to plug in that, you can plug in the next equation and see what it is. So remember that equation is y is greater than or equal to negative 3x. In this, it should be going in the opposite direction, right? If you've already typed it in, it should be going this way. So then when we look and see where our common shading is, it's going to be in section B. All right, number 3, if you remember back from the notes, these are parallel lines. However, y is less than 0.5x minus 4, and y is greater than 0.5x plus 5. So this is our blue, and this is our red. And if you're still not really sure how I'm coming up with those, I'm looking at these two numbers. So plus 5 would be right here. Remember that each point, 2, 4, and in the middle would be 5. Each point on the line is we're counting by 2s. So the blue line is the bottom one, and the red one, 2, 4, is right here. It's going through that y-axis of negative 4. So if the first one says y, again, is less than or equal to 0.5x minus 4. And then the second one is y is greater than 0.5x plus 5. And if you type those into Desmos, hopefully what you are seeing is that the blue is going this way. It's all this way, because it's everything that is greater. And then you are seeing that the red is everything that's less than, so it's everything below the line is falling this way. So if you remember from our notes, when we have parallel lines and there's no shading that they have in common, this answer would be no solution. I think that's what your paper said, to write no solution. Yep, no solution. All right, number 6 and 7 now is where you have to choose the system of inequalities represented by the graph. Again, like I would recommend that you use Desmos. That would be the more efficient and quick way to choose your answers for these ones, because there's so many options. So I'm not gonna do these ones. I'm gonna have you do those on your own, but just use Desmos. What you're gonna do is you're gonna type in one of these, like each set of answers, and then just compare the graph to what you have. And then do the same for number 7. And for number 8 and 9, you have these, it's a word problem. So it says, Mrs. Thompson's class is donating canned goods for disaster relief. The girls in the class have pledged to bring in at least 20 pounds of canned goods. So I like to go in and like highlight. So they've agreed to bring in at least 20 pounds. So think about what that could mean. All right. If the class brings a total of 50 pounds or more, they qualify for a pizza party. Select the two inequalities that represent this scenario. Use G to represent the pounds of canned goods donated by the girls in the class, and B to represent the pounds donated by the boys. Okay, so we know that they have to have a total of 50 pounds or more. So remember, we have our inequality signs. We have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So for the first part of the system, the two equations that we're writing, let's look at this one first. The girls have to bring at least 20 pounds. So we know that girls are represented by the letter G, and they need to bring in at least 20 pounds. So if I look at my choices, the only two that deal with just the girls are these two. So now you're down to 2 possible choices. So you need to think of which one would represent at least 20 pounds. At least. So what does that mean? Does that mean less than 20 pounds? Or does that mean they could bring greater than 20 pounds or greater than or equal to 20? So hopefully that's the thought process that you're taking on this. And when you think about it, the answer for this one is going to be E. The girls' G is greater than or equal to 20 pounds. So they have to bring in at least 20. So they can bring 20, but they can bring more. They just can't bring less than. And then the last inequality that you need to figure out is the last sentence here. If the class brings a total of 50 pounds or more, they qualify for a pizza party. So that means we're going to be looking at the girls and the boys, and they have to, we need to put a sign there, and it has to be something with 50. So this is going to be between these two choices, B and C. So we're looking for, again, 50 or more. So if we look at our signs, our first sign here is greater than or equal to. So right at 50 or more than 50, or this one is less than and equal to. So 50 or less than 50. Those are that's how you read those. So for this one, the answer would have been B, the greater than or equal to. So that would have been your answer. So, and then your other one was that answer. All right, so then the last one they ask you to do is graph the inequalities. So your first one is G. Let's do the bottom one because that one, G is greater than 20. So for this one, whenever we just have a single number here, G is greater than 20, we are going to we're going to find 20 on the x-axis. I don't know why I made it yellow because you can't see yellow. We're going to draw 20 on our x-axis and then just draw it straight up. This is a straight line. And you can use Desmos on this, and I highly encourage to use Desmos. So if you went to Desmos and typed in, you can't use the letter G though for Desmos. You can only use X. So if you type in X is greater than or equal to 20, you should see the same line that you see on the screen there. Okay, or not on the screen there, but yes, on the iPad screen. I'm so sorry. And then the next one is girls plus boys is greater than or equal to 50. So this one is set up more like an inequality that we're used to. So we're going to find 50 on change my lines. Let's do red. We're gonna go 50. I'm not gonna be able to draw this very straight, but then we're gonna go to 50. All right. So for question 10, it says use your graph from question 9 to select the point that would be a valuable solution in the context of the problem. So if we shade in everything, these are both greater than, so both of our lines, both of the shadings, so the red will be all this over here. This is all the red. And then for blue, everything greater than is this part right here. I'm going to shade that in. So our solution set comes from this area right here, the area where those colors overlap. So then you have to look at the points that are given and see which points fall into that shaded overlapped part. So remember that this is your X and this is your Y value. So we could go over 2, 3, 4, 25 and up 10. This one would not be a solution because that would fall like right here. And then over 30, up 25, that would put us about right here. That could be a solution, but make sure you check all of them. This one is 15, so right here and up 50. So 12, 14, and then we go up 50. That would be here, roughly. That would not be a solution because it's only in the red. And then our last one, 55, we know this one's not going to work because it's a -2, and that would be like down here. So that doesn't work. So our only solution is that one. So the takeaway from this is when in doubt, use Desmos. I don't know how many times I can say, just use Desmos, plug these equations in, let it help you, let it be your tool to solving these inequalities. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully doing this checkup together kind of solidified some of those things that you learned throughout the lesson. All right, see you later.